I'm happy to be there to speak about galaxy ecology, to make an update. But in fact, thank you. Starting from presenting the origins, because it comes to my mind this summer reading these French things, that in fact we don't know exactly where we are going in the future, but we know a little bit about the direction we will have regarding the origin of an initiative. This book at the left was interesting because he was explaining how we can have Trump and Musk in US now coming from the creation of the Silicon Valley. Amazing. So just to say that in fact we are not sure of what will be concretely the production we'll have in the future of galaxy ecology, but if we know where it comes from, I think it will help you and us to know what be the direction in fact. With a transition, so the origin is to try to make a dream come true and to face the data enemy, notably using citizen science. In fact, it was 9 years ago, I was involved in a national project to involve each part of the French citizens in science. So the name of the project was 65 millions of users, of citizen scientists. So all the population. And I was particularly oriented toward innovative things, trying to push citizens, not providing free data, but participate to the analysis of the data, of the scientific data. And going to this direction, we were finding that the best way to do so was not to create a beautiful website where for sure citizens can make things and make visualization and other stuff, but more to make available the access to data, scientific data and analytical procedure from science available to everyone. So in fact, we were more taking a direction for sure will take us something like 10 or 20 years, but just pushing forward the sharing of data, scientific data, and scientific algorithms. So that was the birth of Galaxy Ecology Initiative, in fact. And thanks to European Galaxy Instance and beyond, we were able to have an ecology-oriented subdomain in Galaxy, so Galaxy Ecology European Instance, I can call this. And just after that, I was switching to another interesting project to coordinate the biodiversity research data sharing in France and also give access to tools and services to valorize this data and things like that. So PNDB. I just mentioned here that a big advantage we have had using Galaxy Europe and the existing of the European Galaxy Instance, it's even if I don't have a lot of time or resources, I can take some time to contribute and no need to push money to have something who is in production with a lot of existing services and things like that. And the idea also is to have a minimum of quality process. If we want that people are using data and analyzing data, it's better to use Galaxy than other things because there is a minimum of fairness behind that. So Galaxy Ecology became a service for virtual research infrastructure dealing with biodiversity data, and we make the proof of concept of that with years. Thanks to our participation with Galaxy Europe, it was possible to us to scale up in several European open science cloud projects, starting with Earth Pillar, to also take part to European projects related to gamification through the GAPARS project, notably, where we were notably launching this people overflies crowdsourcing Galaxy Webbooks, who allow us to have now 206 and 430 classification. I think I missed something, but you have the number here. It's not a huge thing, but the idea is not to have a huge thing. It's just to demonstrate that we can have something like more than 100 classification a day on any kind of data sets, just pushing an effort of 2 days of development as the basis and just letting it living on an existing web service who is in production here, a Galaxy instance, but you can imagine after that pushing it on other web interface and maybe just like iframe or things like that on the websites to augment this participation. In France, we take part to other major project, and notably one who is called Gaia Data, who is in fact 8-year project of 65 million euros to create a virtual infrastructure to address issues regarding access to data and data analysis for biodiversity community, earth system communities, and climate communities. And here again, Galaxy was something important to push on this project. And this was something also we were pushing for a system community who was created thanks to another European Open Science Cloud project called Fairies. I think Jérôme will speak a little bit after today. And it was quite a good fit also with another international project we are involved in, who was in fact starting from this figure where I just put the Galaxy Project logos, but if you remove the Galaxy Project logo, this is a figure of a paper describing how we can operationalize essential biodiversity variables concept. So to be brief, something who allow to go from raw data in biodiversity towards biodiversity indicators computation through workflow-oriented e-infrastructure. And in this paper, they are saying we have a lack of such an e-infrastructure who can be openly shared to the community internationally, so we can produce biodiversity indicators from raw data easily. So it's a perfect fit for Galaxy. So that's one of the major projects we are working on. We're starting notably working on genetics data because this is something that Galaxy know how to deal since years. So dealing with production of biodiversity indicators related to genetic composition and notably in population genomics. Then we demonstrate we can produce tools and workflows to produce biodiversity indicators in species populations and species traits and community composition. After that, in ecosystem functioning, thanks to the use of Sentinel of remote sensing data, and finally on ecosystem structure on different kind of type of data. So, and all these things, all this development was allowing us to take some time to think about what is the important things we do with Galaxy Ecology. So the first things who is important is, in fact, um, uh, I want to say resume in English, but I know that it's not a good in a term in English. So this is a summary of this can be this graphical abstract of the paper, the Galaxy Ecology official paper we just published this year, thanks to Colin's work, was really amazing PhD working on Galaxy Ecology development. And she was really amazing to make a beautiful paper with not just speaking about the tool services and things like that, but more into something with best practices for our communities in ecological data analysis, where Galaxy Ecology can serve as an example, but this is not the end of all the work. So here, very briefly, we describe a framework we produce and created thanks to Galaxy Ecology work. We call it atomization generalization. And this is just to show how we can go from, for example, an horrible R script with taking raw data concerning birds, for example, to produce some indicators, various indicators, and how we can follow some steps to atomize it in real relevant atomized analytical steps, then associated to a way to use each atomized analytical steps in a standalone way, And finally, generalize things about generalization of each step so we can apply each step of this analytical workflow, if it's relevant and possible, to other domain, other context, taxonomical, geographical, and temporal. And finally, we have these bricks who can be, for example, Galaxy tools into Shed and things like that. And we started to apply this to showcase, so we can use the same workflow to produce the same kind of metrics of biodiversity indicators from data coming from fishing data or bats or marine protected areas and things like that. One important things related to that, with more related to workflows, is the link with data and the link with primary variables. So the link with what we call essential variables here, notably essential biodiversity variables. It was quite amazing to see that to bridge the entrance of a workflow to heterogeneous data, one way is just to think about what we use on the entrance of the workflow, not as a data set, but more as a primary variables, and how these primary variables can occur in several heterogeneous data type or data format. Here again, we apply it with notably Pauline, with there again, still, I hope. She was developing a workflow to produce eco-regionalization maps in Antarctica. And we demonstrated that we can reuse it in a proper way to produce same kind of ecoregions, for example, in western part of France and in the fishing data, for example. And one of the interests of all these things of atomization and generalization is also that the user can play with parameters quite easily. For example, here you see the parameter we are using. So in fact, the primary variables of the input data sets. And playing with it quite rapidly allow us to test scenarios and to test what can be the issue related to some particular variables, physical, chemical variables or others on the resulting ecoregions, for example. So if you want to go deeper on Galaxy Ecology, we have made a lot of tutorials because it is important for us to try to, each time we create things in Galaxy Ecology, we have it through a tutorial so you can show what is it in reality. The things we were investing more for now also is related to citizen science and crowdsourcing, notably because there is a lot of demand regarding image, sounds, or video annotation and things like that. And this make a bridge also with all the AI bubble we see for now and today. So here it's really cool to have the chance to collaborate with colleagues, notably from University of Freiburg and European Galaxy team, so we can capitalize on existing tools or with other communities like Imagine communities to just test to reusing and applying existing tools and maybe see how we can generalize it to reusing it in biodiversity related data. So we have a lot of things to do on that. And I will not go too much further on this idea. Again, really too good to collaborate with all these young guys all these years. And now, if we have time for bonus, we have time because the last talk of this morning is Anthony, and I think Anthony is not speaking about something who will be interesting at all. So we can just take all the time we want to maybe try to sing. So I capitalize on something that Anthony find some days ago, something we made more than 10 years ago, trying to take existing songs and modifying a little bit the word so it can be applied to our mission, our work. So I will try to make something, but it will be complicated. But please don't hesitate to try. I don't know if I just try to click here if we can have the song. Maybe it can be horrible, but I don't know where it is opening the things. Oh yeah. I hope we don't have fucking advertisement. I accept. Hold on. I think you will. You are ready to accept.
Accept.
Yeah. I just try. Yeah. Okay. So we will not make all the song. I hope the. If I try to compute there, will they come with me? Wow. I know that flies that take birds, nature of galaxy. If I try to compute there, will data come with me? I know that flies that take birds, nature of galaxy. I said nature of galaxy. Woo! I said natural love, galaxy. Yeah. Oh, you can. I think you can. I don't know if I can, but you can. And rhythm is love. Heaven is just another word for the feeling called analytical. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't hear you. What flow is lost because of analytical things we do. In my mind, I trust you make them a galaxy 4. Hey, yeah. Hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I would like to put you in new instance. Take you on galaxy friends. Leave you where is too much R with galaxy. Bourgeois. Hey, hey, yeah. Hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thank you. Whoa. I don't hear one thing that good.
Yeah.
So a question maybe from Anthony.
Anthony, how do you want to top that?
Okay.
Are there any questions to the song?
At lunch maybe.
Okay, but we don't.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.